You know, normally when I decide to do a rant on a film that I've already seen before, I sit down with a bowl of popcorn and a bottle of vodka and I rewatch the film to take notes and refamiliarize myself with the plot, the cinematography, the effects, and all of that. But unfortunately, for tonight's film, I was unable to find enough vodka in the state of Arizona for the job. Here's your damn rant show, folks. Greetings and welcome to Adam's Film Rants, YouTube's version of being hungry for a nice, juicy ribeye and settling for a jumbo jack. I'm your host, E. Adam Thomas, and tonight we finish out our three-part series on the supposed worst Star Trek films, the odd-numbered ones. This is the film where all that bullshit really started, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Starring Shatner and Nimoy and Kelly and Koenig and Takei and Nichols and featuring Lawrence Luckenbill as Spock's heretofore unknown of half-brother Sybok. The film's big claim to fame is being William Shatner's cinematic directorial debut. Now, the basic plot is that Sybok has started recruiting disciples to travel with him to the center of the galaxy to find God, because that's such a Vulcan notion, right? Of course, to get there, he needs a starship. What better ship than the very ship his brother Spock serves upon, the Enterprise? He manages the unthinkable and captures the ship, brainwashes the crew, and replaces ILM's effects crew with a bunch of drunk frat boys in an outdated version of Adobe Photoshop. When they finally find the planet of God, Shakari, or Zahadum, or Gallifrey, or whatever the fuck it is, God turns out to be another raging asshole alien with evil intent that wants to steal the Enterprise himself and wreck shit up. Now this brings us to the big problem with this movie. Gene Roddenberry, awesome as he was, have been trying to get this Enterprise versus God story on screens since rumors of a new Star Trek series first bubbled up in the mid-70s, and wiser heads had managed to talk him out of it every single time until now. Meanwhile, Shatner, jealous that his supposed subordinate Nimoy had gotten to direct 2 Star Trek films, decided it was his turn to direct a film. Now, honestly, we may never know for sure whether Shatner could have been a great film director, because this film ended up having so many other issues outside of his control that it was frankly doomed to failure. The script is a trite, confusing mess of great ideas that get ass-fucked into stupidity, and the budget for the film ended up being drastically slashed to the point where the effects work looked like it was created for a 1970s TV movie, not a major 1990s cinematic blockbuster. The Great Barrier at the center of the galaxy is probably one of the most cheesy looking things I have ever seen in my life until this shot. It looks like a goddamn cardboard cutout being dropped into a glittery bowl of blue jello. Now, look at this shot.
ちょっと変じゃないのか?
That scene actually looks better. And it was made in 1965 for a fucking Godzilla movie. I mean, seriously, you've got an estimated budget of $28 million fucking dollars, and you throw special effects at us that were outdone 30 years ago by a film series that has always been derided as being cheap and unconvincing? Are you fucking stupid? This is a franchise you, Paramount, resurrected to challenge Lucasfilm at the box office, and you throw shit at us that looks like it was done as a cheap parody for a public access sketch comedy show. I should know. I worked on a cheap sketch comedy show on public access in the 90s. As for the ensemble cast, they were all in average form. All of them seemed to know that this film was an absolute clusterfuck of shitacular fail. The one true standout among all of them was Walter Koenig as Chekhov, who actually did have some truly amusing character moments and was really good in them. Seriously, Chekhov. Koenig only actually worked on the film for 8 shooting days of the whole production, and he comes out the most impressive actor in the whole fucking film. Even Nimoy phoned this performance in. Nimoy never phones in a performance. The man is the best actor of the whole lot of them. He's a consummate professional. And yet, he seemed to just be doing his straightforward Spock by the numbers routine, Captain. It's especially sad seeing as how this story had a potential to really bring further depth into the Spock character. It's pathetic and inexcusable that the script was so awful, even Nimoy hit a point where he just wanted to get this fucking film over with. It's like he knew we were expecting a horse, but we were gonna end up getting a fucking goat instead. Nobody wants a fucking goat. Goats suck. They smell like shit, and they have those weird fucking eyes, and let me tell you something else about goats. They're fucking assholes. They try to eat your goddamn clothes. They headbutt you in the ass. I fucking hate goats. Especially that one. That fucking goat can go eat a bag of goat dicks. Fuck that goat. Fuck him up the ass with a termite-covered dildo till his bunghole drips shit all over his mother's face. Fuck that goat, and fuck Star Trek V. This is the Star Trek film that really launched all of the sniping and bitching about the odd-numbered Trek films. As I mentioned last week, Star Trek III was an egregiously underrated film in so many ways, and this film only serves to hurt III's reputation even more. A movie really has to suck to make the other movies around it look that bad. Fuck Goat Trek V. The only saving grace is that they never once referred back to anything that happened in this movie in any way, shape, or form in any of the later movies or episodes, so I say we can safely dismiss it from the canon altogether and write it off as a bad dream Kirk had after binging on Romulan ale. On to the rantometer. For artistic, I can only give this film a 2. And that's being generous. Coolness gets a 1. And originality gets a 1 as well. Suckitude gets a full geek wedgie of a 5. Giving Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, a score of -1. It's not just a bad Star Trek movie. It is simply just a really bad fucking movie in general. As a side note, the ad campaign for this film was that this movie was supposedly why they were installing seatbelts in the movie theaters, and now we know why. It was to keep people from walking out of this piece of shit film and demanding their fucking money back. We've been doing a lot of sci-fi films lately, so I'm going to go ahead and give that genre a rest for a while. Next week, we're going to tackle Kevin Smith's second attempt at absurdist horror, the 2014 film Tusk, starring Justin Long and Michael Parks. Don't forget, we're always hoping to hear from you. Email me at filmrantseat@cox.net, comment here on this video on YouTube, or just look us up on Facebook at facebook.com/filmrantseat. See you all next week, and remember, goats can go fuck right the hell off. Fuck goats.
Angry Men Reviews. Many fucks said, no fucks given.
Please, Captain. Not in front of the Klingons.
Presenting the Star Trek V of Japanese movie monsters and the Star Trek V of Dalek designs. Enjoy!